Even if you haven't, it's okay. I'm going to teach only. So you tell me, yes, you have heard, or no, you haven't heard.
No, ma'am.
No,
No, ma'am.
None of you have? What
no,
about you, Rumesa?
No, ma'am.
Okay. See, students, diffusion is the name of a type of movement. Okay. Now, in this case, what happens? The substances, let's just say gases mostly, and atoms, molecules. And what happens is that whenever in one area, they are present in a higher concentration. You people are getting me? If I say that anything is present
Yes,
in a
ma'am.
higher concentration, what do I mean? Hmm? If
Anything which is present in higher amount at one place.
exactly, higher amount. So now diffusion is referring to the movement of gases, atoms or molecules from where they are present in a higher amount or higher concentration to the region where they are present in lower concentration through the semi-permeable membrane. This is what we call as diffusion. Now, see students, this definition is what you people have to learn by heart. That diffusion is the movement of gases, atoms, molecules from a region of high concentration to the region of low concentration through the semi-permeable membrane. That is what we call as diffusion. Now, related to that, we have certain things. Now, see, you know, like when we breathe in and breathe out, which is the gas that we take in while breathing in?
O2, oxygen.
Oxygen, right? And which is the gas we breathe out?
CO2,
CO2.
carbon dioxide.
Very good. So, you know, actually what happens, like whenever we breathe in, so the amount of oxygen in the outer environment, in the atmosphere is much more than inside our body. So this creates a concentration gradient. Gradient means from high to low, anything that is high in one area and low in another area, so that is a gradient. And substances will always remember students, they will move from a region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. So that is why oxygen comes into our body and carbon dioxide exits from our body. So the role of diffusion mostly is in the exchange of gases, or you can call it as the gaseous exchange. Now water, it also follows the law of diffusion, meaning it will also show the movement that is just like diffusion. But remember that the movement of water is not called as diffusion, it is called as osmosis, wherein the water moves from a region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. That is what we call as osmosis. Now, the factor which will affect the osmosis is the solute concentration. See, solute is one of the component of a solution. If we talk about solution, solution is a combination of solute and solvent. How many of you have had sugar water, lemonade? Everyone has had? Okay. Now, what all things are present in it? We have water, we have sugar, right? And we have lemon, right? If you remove the lemon and just think about sugar and water. So if I am drawing a glass here, okay, this is a glass. So in this, water is there and then sugar particles are there. Remember that this water is the solvent, meaning the part where you will dissolve the substance, and the sugar or the salt, it will become the solute, meaning the substance that is being dissolved. So you take the sugar and you dissolve it in water, right? So the sugar that you use, it becomes the solute, and the water is the dissolving medium. So we
Solvent.
call it as solvent.
Solvent.
Okay. Now, now you people have understood solute solvent thing.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, very good. Now see, in terms of this, there is another thing that you people must remember, that in a solution, if the solute is high, then the solvent will be low. If the solvent is high, then the solute will be low. Their concentration will always be opposite to each other. Clear? And depending upon that, we have to study three types of solutions: hypertonic, hypotonic, and isotonic. These are the three kinds of solution that we have to study. Now see here. For example, if we are studying about hypertonic solution, okay? So we take a cell, it can be a plant cell, it can be an animal cell. Now in a plate or in a, you can say bowl, we put like, let's just say 3 spoons of water. Okay, 3 spoons of water. And then we put 5 spoons of sugar. So now solute concentration is high or solvent concentration is high? Say everyone. Astitva, you tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you people
Salute.
listening to me?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Salute. Salute will be high.
Yes, solute will be high. Then what will happen to the solvent?
Ma'am, it will be low.
It will be low. Okay.
Ma'am, it will be
Now,
low.
yes, exactly. So what will happen? See, in the hypertonic solution, we take the cell and we put the cell inside this external environment, the plate or the bowl, whatever it is. We put it here. Now, tell me one thing. The amount of solute in the outer environment is high, right? And the amount of solvent is low, isn't it? What about if you compare it with the cell? The cell has high water or low water in comparison to the external environment?
It has low.
No, it has high. Because normally the cell has a lot of water. Okay, so since the outside area does not have enough water and the cell does, so the water from the cell will come out of the cell because of the osmosis. Because water moves from a region of its higher concentration to low concentration so that it can be balanced. So if water comes out of the cell, what will happen to the cell?
It will shrink.
Yes.
It'll shrink.
So, yes. So, whenever water comes out of the cell will shrink. So, always remember that in the case of hypertonic solution, if you put a cell, whether it is animal cell or plant cell, whether you'll put the cell in a hypertonic solution, then the cell will shrink. Why? Because hypertonic solution means the solute is high, the solvent is low, and the cell has high solvent, low solute. So water will move out of it. Now the exact opposite condition is of hypotonic solution, wherein the solute is less. So if the solute is less, the solvent is more, right? Now, if we put a cell in this plate or bowl, then the solvent is high outside and the solvent will be low comparatively inside. So the water from the external environment will move inside the cell, because of which the cell will swell up. So if we put the cell in a hypotonic solution, the cell will swell up. Are these two conditions clear to every single person here?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Does anyone have any doubts?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No,
Oh.
ma'am.
Very good. Now the third case is of isotonic solution. Now isotonic, what happens? The cell solute concentration and the solute concentration of the external environment is equal. Both of them are equal. So the net movement of water will also be equal. The amount of water that is coming out will be the amount of water that is going in. So the cell, if it is kept in an isotonic solution, nothing happens to it. If it is kept in a hypotonic solution, then it swells up. And if it is kept in a hypertonic solution, it will shrink. So all of these solution types are clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And
Yes, ma'am.
it's okay if like after the class you forgot. or after the class you find it confusing, you can come to me, I'll explain it again, because many a times it can get confusing. All that you have to remember, that what happens to the solute in each of the case. Hypertonic has high solute, right? If the solute is high, the solvent will automatically be low. In hypotonic, the solute is low, and in isotonic, the solute is same. Now, what is the application of this particular thing? The plants, they take in water or absorb water from the soil by this mechanism. Also, freshwater organisms, they also use this mechanism. Now, talking more about the plasma membrane. So the plasma membrane that is present around the cell, it has been made up of two things. It has been made up of lipids and it has been made up of proteins, both of which are collectively called as organic molecules. So always remember, this question can be asked, like what is the plasma membrane made up of? So you would say lipid and proteins. Clear, students? Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay, now there is
Yeah,
a
ma'am.
question I've written here. How can you see a plasma membrane of the cell? Who can answer? How can you see it? How would you see the plasma membrane of the cell, students? Tell me, I want to see. You only tell
By
me.
microscope.
Hmm?
By microscope.
We would use a microscope to visualize or to see any kind of cell structure. Always remember, because we can't see it with the naked eye, because it is so tiny, we can't be able to see it. Okay. Now, moving forward, we'll talk about the next topic, that is endocytosis. It comes under plasma membrane heading only. Now, endocytosis, this mostly takes place in amoeba. How many of you have heard about amoeba?
I have heard.
Everyone has
Yes,
heard?
ma'am. I have. Yes.
Amoeba,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
Their
ma'am.
structures are like this, isn't it? This is how you draw an amoeba, the
Mhm.
easiest drawing in biology. Yeah. Now, what happens is that amoeba, they have a property of doing endocytosis. Now, this is the process wherein whenever food comes near amoeba's body, meaning its cell structure, what does it do? It draws out its pseudopodia, takes the food and engulfs it, meaning takes it inside. This process is called as endocytosis. And you can also call it as ingestion. So the process of engulfing food particle from the external environment is known as endocytosis. This is what we call as endocytosis. You can also mention it by the word ingestion. It takes place in amoeba and it takes place with the help of pseudopodia. The word pseudo means false. The word podia means feet. So pseudopodia means false feet. Amoeba does not have any feet, but it makes the structure look like it has feet. Feet, or it should be hands, but it looks like a feet. So what it does, normally it doesn't have anything, but whenever the food comes to its vicinity, meaning near amoeba's cell, so it draws out the pseudopodia like this, takes the food particle inside. This is what endocytosis is. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Now,
Yes, ma'am.
students,
Yes, ma'am.
whatever topic we are discussing in the class, okay, try to learn it side by side. For example, the class gets over, then whenever you people sit for self-studying, try to learn the definitions that are given. You can use my notes to learn the definition, or you can use your books also. But try to write the proper
Okay, ma'am.
definition in the test. Okay, don't try to make it in your own
Okay,
words,
ma'am.
because that changes the meaning. Okay, you can add 1 to 2 lines of your own, but the main definition should always be remembered. Clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Okay, very good. Now the next is what we are going to see is the cell wall. But before seeing the cell wall, you people note down till here and then we'll move forward.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, you people can switch off your videos and write down comfortably. Done, students?
Yes,
Done.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Done, student?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Done, students? All of you are done?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, what is EXT?
EXT is external. Okay, external. INT is internal, meaning inside the cell, and external means outside the cell. Like
Okay,
external
thank you.
environment. Okay.
Thank you.
Done, students?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Done, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Yes, everyone's done.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, now moving forward, we're going to see the cell wall. Okay. Now see, in some of the cells, what happens is that the plasma membrane, it gets surrounded by another very rigid layer. And this layer is called as the cell wall. Okay. And now see students, if I have switched on the video, then all of you must switch on your videos. Okay. So the outermost layer that surrounds the plasma membrane is the cell wall. Now the cell wall, it is a very rigid layer, and it is always, remember this one thing, that it is present in plants, but it will always, always, always be absent in animals.
Animals.
It will never be present in animals. Okay. Now see, apart from plants, there are bacteria that have the cell wall present in them. Then there is fungi that has the cell wall present in them. So the plant cell wall, it is made up of cellulose. A substance which is called as cellulose is what the plant cell wall is made up of. So we can say that the plants have a cellulosic cell wall. Apart from that, the cell wall of fungi, it is made up of chitin, chitin, chitin. Also, the cell wall of bacteria, bacterial cell wall, it is made up of peptidoglycan. Peptidoglycan. Okay, this is what the cell wall of bacteria is made up of. Now, animals, they do not possess a cell wall. And apart from that, another thing to remember is that the cell wall, it is made up of, now you can say that according to the organism, the cell wall composition will also vary. If it is a bacteria, then the cell wall will be made up of something else. If it is a plant, then something else. And if it is a fungus, then something else. Now, the cellulose which is present in the plant cell wall, it does the process of providing structural strength to the plants. It provides structural strength to the plants. Apart from that, the cell wall, it protects, or you can say that it prevents the cell from bursting or collapsing. Apart from plants, now you people know that bacteria, they have a cell wall. Fungi, they have a cell wall. Clear, students? Any doubts up until now?
No.
No, ma'am.
All right. Very good.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now moving forward, this is a very responsive class. I see that all of you are responding. I really like it. Very good. All right. Moving forward, we'll talk about the nucleus. Now see, this is the head of the cell. This will control every single activity that the cell is supposed to perform. That is why nucleus is really, really important part of the cell. And you know, it is the largest part which is present inside the cell. And it is the control house of the cell, sort of like the headquarter. Okay. Now, see students, I'll tell you one thing, that whenever we need to see any cell under a microscope, mostly, what do you think would be the color of the cells?
Blue.
Blue,
Because of the stain.
because of the stain. In originality, the cells are colorless. They have no color. So if something is colorless or something is transparent, we won't be able to see it, right? So in order for us to visualize means to see the cells, we stain them. We color them so that we can see them, right? So
Yes.
whenever we stain the cells, there are certain cells that take up a lot of stain, like they absorb a lot of color and they look dark in color, right? But then there are some cells that do not absorb that much of color, so they look light. Talking about the nucleus, it is the very darkly stained region of the cell. It takes up a lot of stain. Now the question comes, why do we stain to see the cells? Because the cells are colorless. So to visualize them or to see them, we have to color them. Now, to color them, we can't use pencil colors or sketch pens or paint colors, right? We have to use a certain set of colors that are there for the self coloring, right? And we don't call them colors, we call them dyes, right? Hair dyes, you people have heard about hair dyes? That dye only. Okay. And now the dyes that are used for this particular cell visualization, they are different. We have iodine solution. This is the name of a dye. Then we have saffronin solution. This is orangish color dye. And then we have methylene blue solution. It is a very good royal blue color solution. So all of these are the common dyes that we use to stain the cells. This much is clear to you all?
Ma'am, to stain animal cell, to
Yes,
see the
ma'am.
animal cell, we use yellow one, right? The saffron one.
Yeah, saffronin. Yes.
Okay.
Saffronin, and mostly in plants, or you can say in bacteria, we
We
use
use blue one.
iodine also. Iodine, then there is violet color also. So all of these
Mhm.
stains are used to visualize. Now see, talking about the nucleus, it is a double membranous structure. If I say that it is a double membranous structure, then what do I mean?
Double layered.
Yes,
It
it
is
is
double
double
layered.
layered, or two membranes are there, right? Now, out of them, one will be the outer membrane, one will be the inner membrane. Okay. And remember that the layers or the covering or the membrane of the nucleus is called as nuclear membrane. Clear?
Yes,
Nuclear
ma'am, clear.
membrane. Yes. Now, what happens? This nuclear membrane, it contains pores. Pores means holes, meaning it is not complete like this. Certain places, they have holes present, which we call them as nuclear pores. Now, these nuclear pores are there so that substance can come in from the cytoplasm into
And
this
then go
nucleus.
out.
Yes, and then also go out. So that is why nuclear pores are present. Now, the main and the most important function of the nucleus is that it contains the chromosomes. So the nucleus, it has the chromosome present inside. Now, what are chromosomes? So chromosomes, they are the rod-shaped structure that are present inside the nucleus. And actually, you people have heard about DNA.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the full form of DNA?
Dex,
Anyone can answer.
Dioxyro, dioxyribo,
bone nucleus acid.
Deoxyribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid. Everyone should know the full form of DNA. See here. Deoxyribonucleic acid is the full form of DNA. And this is our genetic material. The DNA is that part of the cell which gets inherited, like from our parents, we have gotten it. Our parents got it from grandparents, right? So this is the, you can say, the molecule which we inherit, we take after them, right? So these DNA, they are actually carried by the chromosome. So the chromosome contain the information of inheritance, which is the DNA. Also, you can say in a very concise manner that chromosomes are the physical carriers of DNA. Physical carrier, just imagine them carrying DNA like this. So they are the physical
And
carriers
they
of
are
DNA.
carrying in the back.
Yes, they are carrying the DNA on their back. Let's just say. Okay. So that is what the chromosomes do. Now, I told you that they contain the information for inheritance. So a question would naturally come, what is inheritance? Isn't it? So inheritance is the whole entire process wherein the characters, the uniqueness or the traits or anything, something which comes from the parents to the children, meaning to the offspring, through the process of sexual reproduction. This type of reproduction wherein two parents are involved and fusion of male and female gametes take place. So in that case, the DNA gets from the parents to the offspring. And this is what we call as the inheritance process. And DNA is extremely, extremely important for inheritance. And chromosome is also very important. And the DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. Any doubts up until now, students?
No, ma'am.
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am. No,
All
ma'am.
right. Very good. Okay, now you people can note down and then we'll move forward. You don't have any doubts in cell wall also, right?
No, ma'am.
No.
No,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
when
No.
will the class will end?
The class will end after 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Now you people can note down. You can switch off your videos, write down comfortably.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
Ma'am, is cell wall present in humans?
Cell wall present in humans?
Yes, ma'am. Cell wall
No,
present.
no, it's not. We also come under animals only. Okay. So whenever I say animals, you can include cow, buffalo, lion, tiger, and us also in it. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Ma'am, then
Everyone's done?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
ma'am, then
Everyone's done?
Ma'am, done.